$1,500, that is the average amount an American household overpays at the grocery store every single year. Not from impulse buying, not from ignoring sales, from 14 specific purchasing patterns that the retail food industry has spent decades perfecting, and that most consumers repeat on autopilot every single week. The mechanics behind each one are worth understanding precisely, because once the structure is visible, the decision becomes straightforward. Number 14. Bagged salad kits. The unit economics here are unusually transparent. A standard bagged salad kit, shredded lettuce, one dressing packet, a small quantity of croutons, retails for $5 to $7. The same components purchased separately cost under $2. That is a 200 to 300% premium for one specific service, pre-assembly. The assembly takes approximately 4 minutes at home. The price differential works out to roughly $45 to $75 per minute of labor outsourced to the manufacturer. The nutritional trade-off runs in the same direction. Cutting accelerates oxidation. Pre-shredded lettuce sealed in a bag has been losing vitamin C content since the moment it was processed, potentially days before it reached the shelf. The dressing packet compounds this. Standard commercial dressing packets are formulated for shelf stability, not flavor optimization. Sodium levels are high. Added sugar is standard. The ingredient list is long. A tablespoon of olive oil costs approximately 3 cents. A squeeze of lemon costs approximately 2 cents. Combined, they outperform the packet on every measurable dimension: cost, sodium content, ingredient transparency, and flavor. Whole head of romaine. Wash once. Store wrapped in a dry cloth. Usable for 5 to 6 days. The savings are immediate. The quality differential is measurable. Number 13. Flavored instant oatmeal packets. 2 products, same store, same brand, same base ingredient. A box of 10 individually portioned flavored oatmeal packets, $4 to $5. Approximately 1.5 ounces of oats per packet. A 42-ounce container of plain rolled oats from the same shelf, $4 to $5. Approximately 25 to 30 servings. The per-serving cost of the portioned version runs 2 to 3 times higher. The nutritional exchange for that premium is negative. Flavored instant oatmeal packets contain 10 to 15 grams of added sugar per serving. The American Heart Association's recommended daily ceiling is 25 grams for women and 36 grams for men. A single breakfast packet delivers between 28% and 60% of that ceiling before any other food has been consumed. Plain rolled oats contain 0 added sugar. Preparation time on a stovetop, 5 minutes. Preparation time using cold overnight method, 4 minutes of active effort the night before. The flavored packet is marketed as a healthy, convenient breakfast. On the sugar data, it performs closer to a dessert item, at a 200 to 300% price premium. Number 12. Individual yogurt cups. This one has the cleanest numbers on the list. Greek yogurt in single-serve cups, $14 to $17 per pound. The same brand, same product, same ingredient list, same nutritional profile. In a large tub, $4 to $5 per pound. A price difference of up to 400% for a product that is chemically identical. One additional variable worth noting: large containers turn over faster on the shelf. The individual cup in its multi-pack has frequently been sitting longer. The premium version is often the older product. Plastic consumption per serving runs 5 to 6 times higher with the individual format. A household consuming one individual yogurt daily spends $250 to $350 more per year than someone buying the equivalent volume in bulk. The fix is a one-time $6 purchase, a set of small reusable containers, portion at home. The cost differential closes immediately and permanently. Number 11. Single-serve snack packs. The underlying product is identical in both formats. A multi-pack of individually portioned crackers, 10 to 12 small pouches, costs $7 to $9 for approximately 8 to 10 ounces. The family size bag, same brand, same recipe, same crackers, $4 to $5 for 28 to 30 ounces. Per ounce cost of the single-serve version, 5 to 6 times higher. The premium purchases nothing except subdivision. The global snack food market sits at approximately $692 billion and is growing at over 4% annually. Single-serve packaging is one of the primary drivers of that growth, not because it adds value to the product, but because most consumers never calculate the per-unit cost differential at point of purchase. Households relying on single-serve packaging spend an estimated $600 to $900 more per year than those buying equivalent products in bulk. Over 10 years, $6,000 to $9,000 on packaging subdivision. Mitigation requires 4 minutes and a set of small reusable containers. Number 10. Pre-cut fruits and vegetables. 2 versions of the same product. Same produce section, a few feet apart. Whole pineapple, $2.99. Same pineapple, peeled, cored, sliced, in a plastic container, $5.49. An 83% price increase for approximately 4 minutes of knife work. Industry data shows pre-cut produce carries an average markup of 40% or higher compared to whole equivalents across all categories. The nutritional data runs counter to the price premium. Cutting accelerates oxidation. Exposure to air and light degrades vitamins, particularly vitamin C and certain B vitamins. Pre-cut produce dries faster, loses texture sooner, and spoils before the whole version would under identical storage conditions. Higher price, measurably inferior product. The frozen aisle addresses both problems simultaneously. Frozen produce is harvested at peak ripeness and flash frozen immediately, locking in vitamins and texture at the point of maximum nutritional density. Cost, 40 to 60% less than pre-cut fresh alternatives. Shelf life, months versus days. The frozen aisle is one of the lowest margin categories in the store. It receives proportionally less promotional investment for that reason. Number 9. Name brand spices. A major brand jar of smoked paprika at a conventional grocery store, $3.79 for approximately 2.5 ounces. The same quantity at a Middle Eastern or Indian market nearby, under 50 cents. A price differential approaching 700% for the same spice. The quality argument runs against the premium product. Name brand spice jars have typically been sitting in a supply chain for 6 months to 2 years before reaching the shelf. Spices lose volatile aromatic compounds continuously over time. The paprika in that attractively labeled jar may be delivering a significantly weaker sensory output than the label implies, not because it was ever inferior, but because it has been degrading since it was packaged. Ethnic specialty grocers turn spice inventory over in weeks rather than months. Fresher product. Substantially lower prices. Larger quantities. Whole spices retain potency significantly longer than pre-ground. Stored in airtight glass containers, they maintain quality for years. The $3.79 spent at the right source does not buy a small jar of oregano. It buys enough to last most of a year. Number 8. Specialty diet labeled foods. The data here requires one direct comparison to make the point clearly. A jar of keto-labeled peanut butter at a major chain, approximately $11 for 16 ounces. Ingredients: peanuts, salt, conventional natural peanut butter, same store, same ingredients, same macronutrient profile, 3.79 for the same size. The word keto-friendly added $7.20 to the price. It changed nothing about the food inside the jar. The same pattern holds throughout the specialty diet section. Paleo-approved crackers, Whole 30 compliant marinara. Every one of these descriptions applies equally to conventional products already on the shelf, products that carry neither the label nor the price premium. Diet frameworks like keto and paleo are sets of nutritional criteria, not product lines. Whole foods have always met those criteria without requiring branded packaging. The specialty diet food market grew by over 40% in 2 years, not because labeled products are nutritionally superior, but because consumers committed to specific eating frameworks are more likely to pay for packaging that signals compliance. The approach that closes the gap: identify the underlying criteria of the eating framework, then source conventional whole foods that already meet it. Eggs are keto. Plain chicken breast is paleo. Canned tomatoes with no additives are Whole30 compliant. None of it requires a premium label. Number 7. Superfood products. One regulatory fact worth establishing at the outset: the FDA has never defined, recognized, or approved the term superfood. It is not a regulatory category. It carries no evidentiary standard. Any manufacturer can print it on a label and price accordingly. Use of the word superfood in consumer food marketing increased by more than 300% over 4 years. That acceleration has no relationship to new scientific discoveries. It tracks directly to consumer willingness to pay a premium for the designation. Goji berries retail for $12 to $14 for 8 ounces at major US stores, over $24 per pound. In China, where they have been consumed for centuries as an ordinary market staple, they are an inexpensive commodity. The superfood designation that multiplies the price when they are repackaged for Western markets is not nutritional science. It is geography and branding. Cultivated blueberries, backed by one of the most extensive antioxidant research bodies in nutritional science, retail for $3 to $5 per pound. The foods with the strongest long-term research support are the least exotic items in the produce section: dark leafy greens, berries, legumes, cruciferous vegetables, whole grains. They require no label because the evidence predates the marketing category by decades. Number 6. Organic everything. The underlying concern is legitimate. The Environmental Working Group's pesticide analysis found that approximately 95% of sampled conventional produce contained detectable pesticide residues. Some items showed more than 50 distinct chemical compounds on a single piece of fruit. Strawberries have tested for as many as 23 separate residues after washing. That is a data point worth acting on. The same report contains a second finding that receives significantly less attention. Nearly 65% of the Clean 15, avocados, sweet corn, pineapple, and similar items showed no detectable pesticide residue at all. For those products, organic certification provides no measurable benefit. The organic food market is now a $52 billion industry. The label adds approximately 20% to item cost on average, and considerably more in some categories. The optimized approach uses the data directly. Buy organic for the dirty dozen: strawberries, spinach, kale, peaches, pears, and the remainder of that list. Buy conventional for the Clean 15. Applied consistently, this reduces organic grocery spending by 40 to 50% without meaningfully increasing pesticide exposure. The research supports the distinction. The industry has no incentive to promote it. Number 5. Pre-marinated meat. Plain chicken thighs, $4.49 per pound. Honey chipotle chicken thighs in a sealed marinade tray, $7.29 per pound. A 62% price increase for approximately 30 to 50 cents worth of sauce applied to the same cut. The financial case is straightforward. The second issue is less visible and more significant. Pre-marinated meats are frequently very high in sodium. Many commercially marinated chicken products contain 700 to 900 milligrams of sodium per serving. The American Heart Association's recommended daily ceiling is 2,300 milligrams, and ideally closer to 1,500 for adults managing blood pressure. A single serving of some pre-marinated products delivers more than a third of that limit before any other food has been consumed. The sodium serves a specific commercial function. It is a cheap preservative that extends shelf life, enhances flavor perception, and increases palatability in ways that drive repeat purchase. From a profit standpoint, it functions nearly optimally as an ingredient. Number 4, what pre-marinated meat is actually concealing. A former grocery store meat department manager stated this directly. Pre-marinated products are frequently used to move cuts approaching their sell-by date. Heavy seasoning, high salt content, and color-enhancing additives mask the subtle changes in smell and appearance that would otherwise signal age to a buyer. The glossy, vibrant presentation in the marinade tray is partly seasoning. It is also partly concealment. A homemade marinade, olive oil, acid, garlic, dried herbs, takes under 5 minutes. The ingredient list is 3 to 5 items, all of them identifiable. The cost is approximately 30 cents. The pre-marinated tray charges a 62% premium for less transparency, more sodium, potential proximity to expiration, and a longer ingredient list designed to look more natural than it is. The trade-off being made is clear once it is stated plainly. Number 3, energy drinks and specialty coffee. This entry differs from the others because the mechanism is not a weekly purchase. It is a daily habit, and daily habits produce annual numbers that most people have not calculated. One energy drink from the grocery store, $3.29 to $4.50. One cold brew or specialty coffee purchased en route to work, $5 to $6. Buying both 3 to 4 times per week, $100 to $130 per month on beverages before a single food item is purchased. Annualized to $200 to $500 over 5 years, a figure that represents a meaningful portion of an emergency fund. A standard energy drink contains 54 to 80 grams of sugar per can. That exceeds the American Heart Association's recommended daily limit for women in a single container and approaches double the limit for men. The $22 billion energy drink industry has repackaged this reality behind phrases like natural caffeine, B vitamins, and clean energy. The biochemistry of the contents has not changed. The coffee markup follows comparable logic. A 40-ounce container of quality ground coffee, approximately $10, producing roughly 100 cups at 10 cents per cup. The same volume in ready-to-drink cold brew bottles, $15 to $25. A markup approaching 5,000%. Cold brew requires 4 minutes of active preparation, coarse ground coffee, cold water, refrigerate overnight. A 32-ounce batch costs $1.50 to $2 to produce. The industry's model depends on morning cognitive load preventing most consumers from ever running these numbers at the point of purchase. Number 2, fresh bakery items. Most people have experienced this without identifying the mechanism. Walking into a large grocery store, within seconds the environment shifts. Warmth, the smell of fresh bread, something baking. Before examining a single product, attention has already moved toward the bakery section. Here is what is actually happening. Many major grocery chains use scent diffusion systems that pump synthetic bakery aromas through the store's ventilation. Not as a byproduct of baking, as a deliberate engineered intervention designed to trigger hunger and emotional comfort at the moment a consumer is most likely to make an unplanned purchase. Research from the Scent Marketing Institute found that artificially circulating the scent of fresh bread in a grocery store tripled bakery sales. Not increased, tripled. The profit margins reflect the investment. Individual muffins, croissants, and decorated cookies typically carry margins of 55 to 65%. A $4.50 muffin may represent a raw ingredient cost under $1. 2 rational alternatives exist. Most stores carry a day-old bakery section where previous day items are marked down 40 to 50%. The quality differential is negligible. Store-brand baking mixes produce equivalent results for a fraction of the retail cost. A $2.29 box yields the same quantity as a $10 bakery tray. The smell is not a natural craving. It is an engineered stimulus. Understanding the mechanism does not eliminate the response entirely, but it changes the decision that follows it. Number 1. Bottled water, the financial structure first. A standard $2 bottle of water costs the manufacturer approximately 5 cents to produce. That is a markup of roughly 4,000%. In a significant number of cases, the water inside that bottle is municipally sourced, drawn from the same public supply system as the tap in your kitchen. The financial argument alone is sufficient to close the case. The second argument is harder to set aside. A 2024 study from researchers at Columbia and Rutgers universities found that the average 1-liter bottle of commercially sold water contains approximately 240,000 microscopic plastic particles, a figure 10 to 100 times higher than earlier studies reported, because scientists have only recently developed tools capable of detecting the smallest fragments, now classified as nanoplastics. These particles are being identified in human lung tissue, in breast milk, and in placental tissue from unborn children. The finding that makes the bottled water argument structurally collapse. Newer research indicates that bottled water frequently contains higher levels of microplastic contamination than tap water. The packaging itself is a contamination source. The product being purchased at a 4,000% markup may be more contaminated than the free alternative it is replacing. The mitigation is straightforward. A water filter certified by NSF International, $25 to $60. A reusable stainless steel bottle, $15 to $30. The setup pays for itself within weeks of the first purchase and reduces exposure to a contamination source that the bottled water industry has no commercial incentive to disclose. Here is the structure underlying all 14 items. Grocery stores are designed by professionals with one objective: maximize revenue per square foot. The layout, the lighting, the music tempo, the synthetic scent systems near the bakery, the placement of high-margin items at eye level, none of it is accidental, and none of it exists for the benefit of the person walking through the door. The $500 annual figure from the opening is not the product of one large mistake. It is the product of 14 small ones made on autopilot week after week in a designed environment built specifically to produce them. The response does not require dramatic action. It requires specific knowledge applied at specific decision points. Buy whole produce and prep it at home. Filter tap water. Compare unit prices before defaulting to the convenient format. Identify which produce actually benefits from organic certification and which does not. Source spices from ethnic specialty grocers. Make your own marinades. Read the ingredient list before trusting anything printed on the front of the package. Applied consistently across a year, those adjustments recover a significant portion of the $1,500. Applied across a decade, the compounded figure becomes genuinely consequential. The bottled water on the shelf contains 240,000 plastic particles per liter and originates from a municipal tap. The question worth carrying into the next shopping trip is simple. What else in the cart is quietly doing the opposite of what the label promises?